turn to the latest in the murder of the University of Virginia lacrosse player, Yardley Love. As her family makes funeral plans for her this weekend, new violent details are emerging about her relationship with the on-again, off-again boyfriend who is charged in her death. Details that have many asking if warning signs were missed. Andrea Canning has the latest.
Yardley Love was just 20 days away from graduating. Now her family is preparing for her wake tonight. The tragedy is raising big questions on the University of Virginia campus. What should the school have known, and could it have done more to prevent her death?
I was startled to learn that there is no notification system, either police to police department or dean to dean.
New details are emerging about the rocky relationship between Love and her alleged killer, George Hughley V. Just 2 months before her murder, the couple reportedly had a violent altercation while in North Carolina that had to be stopped by other lacrosse players. Police were never called. Newly uncovered documents also reveal Hughley's own family was aware of his volatile temper. In 2008, Florida police say after a fight with his father, he jumped overboard from their boat. He and his father had gotten into a verbal argument. It became very heated and lots of yelling and screaming. Hughley has also been arrested multiple times for alcohol offenses and even threatened to kill an officer in 2008. That dark past and the haunting murder of Yardley Love has now prompted the university to take a tougher stance on vetting students and having a plan in place to monitor any criminal behavior on and off campus.
We're going to require a screen each semester to make sure that we've identified any incident that has not been reported to us.
Campuses should absolutely be doing background checks to make sure that serious felonies, sexual assaults or violence, intimate partner crimes, gun violence, that those students are not part of their campus community.
Thursday, the governor of Virginia spoke with UVA's president about how to prevent such a senseless crime from taking place in the future. For Good Morning America, Andrea Canning, ABC News.
For more on the possible warning signs of abuse and what to do about it, we turn to Claire Kaplan. She is the university's director of sexual and domestic violence services. Claire, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I know it was, just 2 weeks ago that you held a 2.5-hour session for a small group of the school's athletic department to help them deal with student athletes and gender violence. I mean, it's very ironic, and obviously you felt that there was a problem.
Well, we didn't specifically target them because we thought there was a problem. We're trying to educate the entire university community. We have something called the Survivor Support Network, and we're trying to train faculty, administrators to be able to identify problems so that they can be advocates for students. So we're trying to just train as many people as possible.
I know you didn't know Yardley Love, and you don't know George Hughley personally. And it's a little bit based upon what you're saying right now, because many are wondering why no one spoke up about the violence. We saw in Andrea Canning's piece that obviously people were aware of it.
Right. Well, there's so many, it's so layered. There's so many reasons why people don't speak up. There could be the whole issue of team pride. There could be an issue of shame. Most women don't speak up, especially young people, don't speak up because they're afraid of the consequences. The most silent group of victims of domestic violence are teenagers and young adults, because they, especially if they're just dating, they think, well, this isn't really domestic violence, right? We're not married to each other. So there are a lot of myths that surround this. And she probably had a very reasonable fear that there would be retaliation if she did speak up. How her teammates or friends felt, they probably all knew little different pieces, but nobody put it all together.
And university officials, what are they saying to students? I remember when I was back in college that when I was a freshman, you had to talk about if you're out at a party, don't leave your drink. If you're walking on campus, make sure that you have someone. But there was never any discussion about if you're in an abusive type of relationship.
Right. Well, you know, many years ago, there was some tremendous research done on issues of sexual assault on campus, and that's what precipitated a response of ensuring that education happened around that issue. Where we are around intimate partner violence is maybe where we were 15, 20 years ago on campuses, and the recognition of this as a problem. Not among advocates such as myself, because we've been doing it all along, but to have institutions recognize it as a serious problem, as serious or if not more serious than sexual assault.
And it's so frustrating on so many levels, especially for parents. You know, their child is off at school and they think that they're doing well. They have no idea really what's going on. So what signs can a parent, a teacher, a friend look for? What signs?
Well, the first and foremost one is one of isolation. Abusers try to isolate their victims so that they really can't tell what's really happening, or try to keep them from telling the truth, or even that they even know who they can talk to. And that might be by putting down their friends, by putting down their families, so they tend to spend less and less time with them. And the other piece is that the kind of verbal insults, emotional abuse, put downs, the kinds of things that make people feel bad about themselves. Many people will witness that and think, well, that's a jerk, but they don't realize that's just one sign of an abusive relationship. And so those are really important. But altogether, this has to be a pattern. Intimate partner violence is essentially a pattern of behaviors used by one person over another in the context of an intimate partner relationship in order to have power and control over them. That is the whole point of it. And there has to be all those factors to make it fit into that definition.
Claire, thank you so much for the work that you have done and continue
Sure.
to do. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
And if you're concerned about an abusive relationship affecting you or a loved one, you can go to our website, abcnews.com, for a list of resources on dating and domestic violence.